Sometimes a seemingly trivial claim can turn into something much deeper. After all, street epistemology is not about the claim itself, but about the sufficiency of the reasoning that supports the claim. Any claim, such as about the color of one's trousers. On this day, Nathan, a local videographer, came out to film me doing some street epistemology interviews at Exmouth Market in London. I was impressed with Daniel, with his curiosity and his intellectual humility. He seemed like somebody who's thought before about how we can know things, and he brought that experience to this interview. Let me know what you think about this chat about a seemingly mundane fact of reality. My name is Nick, and this is Conversations on the Coast. Hey, good afternoon. Do you have time to do a short interview?
Sure, depends on what.
Awesome. So I do a podcast about critical thinking.
Oh, sure, of course.
And so I ask people about something they're convinced is true, and then we have a short dialogue about the reasoning that you use to support the belief and whether it's good reasoning.
Okay.
Sound interesting?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Cool.
Filmed as well?
Sure, no
Yeah.
problem.
Awesome. My name is Nick.
Daniel.
Daniel?
Yeah, nice to meet
Awesome.
you. Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Oi.
Yeah, we won't take too long. We'll
Sure, no problem.
definitely give you time to get to your food. Cool.
All
So what's something that you're convinced is true and that's meaningful for you?
Something and this could range from anything.
Anything, absolutely.
From the simplest of things to...
Yeah.
Oh, so I like to start with something as simple as I'm convinced I'm wearing a black trouser.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
We can start there.
Yeah, of course. So,
Yeah.
and I'm convinced I'm wearing a black trouser because, to be fair, this is the color I was taught in school was
Yeah.
black, and then in comparison to all the other colors, I think this is black.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when I was buying it, it said black, so
Yeah.
I'm convinced I'm wearing a black trouser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's put a little more meat on this.
Yeah, sure.
So on a scale of 0 to 100,
Yeah.
where 100 is you could not be wrong,
Yeah.
right? Where would you be in terms of your confidence in that belief?
I would say 70.
Okay.
Basically, because everything I've said is based off the opinion of what I've been taught and things I've been told.
Yeah.
So, for example, if we were to make a new discovery that this is actually not black and it's some other random color,
Yeah.
then it disproves everything I've said, or the basis of my confidence.
Yeah.
But however, based on what I know and what I've been taught, I think my confidence level on saying this is black is 70%.
Yeah. Let's assume that like the cultural conventions that
Yeah.
say that this color is black and so forth.
Sure, of course.
Right. Let's not talk about shades of gray. You know, it's like, oh, it's charcoal.
Right,
or
yeah,
anything like
of
that.
course,
Let's
yeah,
take all
yeah.
that off the table.
Yeah.
Right. Where is your confidence that you're actually wearing black pants?
It'll still be at 70.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it'll still be at a 70.
So why aren't you at 100?
Because like I said, when I don't think about it,
Yeah.
it's not something it's not knowledge I came to on my own.
Okay.
It's something that was taught to me, something that I learned. It's something that culture, fashion, and society have told me is black.
Yeah.
So I've accepted that as part of my preference or belief system.
Yeah.
But if then culture or society shifts the ground on what they think is black, then I might shift my stand on what I think is black.
Okay.
Because all I'm thinking and my confidence that this is black is based off them. So
Yeah.
if they shift, there's a possibility I'll shift too and say, oh, this is not black happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What could reduce your confidence?
When you then bring in the factor of the shade of black,
Okay.
what were the combinations of black?
Yeah.
Black in reference to what? So if I was to put in reference to his jumper, this
Yeah.
is a bit more charcoaly, this is a bit more ashy
Yeah.
than his black.
Okay.
So when you begin to bring in a number of other factors,
Yeah.
then it begins to weigh in on, is it really black or
Okay.
is it not black? Then you have stuff like, oh, is it just light reflecting? Is it not light reflecting?
interesting.
Is it possible that this is actually another color, but because of our vision and our eyes and the nature of the weather, I'm seeing it as black. But if we're to put on the there's so
Yeah.
many other factors that come into play, and then your confidence begins to reduce.
You actually like sparked something in my brain when you said that,
Yeah.
because with the light reflection, how do we define black? What is black?
Yeah.
In terms of clothing.
Yeah, in terms
right?
of
We don't
clothing,
need to go into,
yeah,
you
of
know,
course,
like race
yeah.
identity. But like in terms of clothing or
Yeah.
in terms of colors, how do we
Yeah.
define what black is?
I think I can't remember much, bro, because to be fair, during school I wasn't listening as good as I should.
Yeah.
But it's like I think it's based on the reflection. It's based on, so they tell me everything comes in white colors, and then by the time you look through a prism, it then begins to divide into different colors.
Yeah.
So I think what we define black is what light has brought black, or the nature of the fabrics combined together, and then what is being reflected into our eyes is now projected as black.
Right.
Yeah, but not that necessarily inherently or by nature that color is black, but what we see is black, and then we just leave it as that, as black. Yeah.
How important is this belief for you? Like, if you found out this belief was wrong, would that be an impact to you? Would it change your behavior?
It might not necessarily change my behavior. It's a simple thing, but thinking about it, taking a second to think about it, it might have a massive impact. Because it then means, have I been seeing color wrong all this time?
Okay.
If I'm seeing color wrong, what else am I seeing wrong? Nice. Then it means when I'm walking around, I'm now looking at colors and I'm questioning myself. Yeah. I'm questioning if I'm seeing right, if I'm not seeing right. And I like to design stuff. I'm into media and stuff like that. So it then makes me like, my entire creative process, is it actually what I think it is? Or have I just been living in self-deceit all this time?
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a small thing, but it can really translate into a massive thing overnight by the time you begin to think about it. Because it means a lot of things around me, I might be seeing wrong. Yeah. So I think, it would have a massive impact eventually.
If you were mistaken in this belief, do you have a way to find out?
If I was mistaken in this belief, personally, I've forgotten who said the theory, but there's something I like where we talked about belief systems, and it's like the only assurance you have of what is true is that you do not know what is true, in the sense that that's the only thing you can be sure of. That the fact that the only thing you're sure of is that you're questioning what you're sure of. Yeah, but every other thing is still hanging balance. So it will be a thing of self-discovery. It will be me going out of my way to actually finding out if what I'm believing is true is actually true.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about, like, is there a scientific test you could do somehow?
Of course, there's scientific tests, but like I said, my confidence will only shift if the scientific nature has shifted. Yeah. So by the time I'm checking out from the scientific nature, it means there has been changes to what I already knew before. Nice. So is there a change in the way we see things? Is there a change in the way light reflects? Is there a change in the way colors appear, or how colors are generated and stuff like that? Yeah, I think it will be have to something of me digging deeper to all means necessary to find out if it's actually black. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you, Daniel.
No problem at all.
This has been fantastic.
No problem at all.
Do you have any questions for me?
What's the name of the podcast?
Oh, yeah. I actually have a card.
Oh, lovely.
QR code.
Beautiful.
That'll take you right there. It's a playlist
I'll subscribe
on YouTube.
to it and we'll listen.
Awesome.
Thank you so
really
much. Nice to meet you guys.
All right.
All right. Bye.
You have a great day.
You too.
You bet.
You've been listening to Conversations on the Coast, a series from Washington State featuring civil conversations using street epistemology to explore what people believe and why. Find out more at streetepistemology.com. You can learn how to have these conversations in your own life at navigatingbeliefs.com.